Okay, I already know 2026 is coming up, and now is the time to really get that jump ahead if you're trying to retool for the new year to be able to get ahead of the game. Now, I made the last video, I was talking about and introducing the dashboard here, so I'm not going to go over that right now. But one of the first things that you do when you get in the dashboard is to plot your vision. And so, whether you have it or whether you don't have it, you can use this as some inspiration. But if you just want to get it quick, you want to get the template, you'll be able to see my vision template. I'll include that for you to be able to get. But if you want to get the larger template that it is a part of, which is what you're seeing now, you'll also be able to get that in the description. So let's dive in. So when you first get in, you're gonna want to look under Life Planner here, and under Life Planner, and this is the FlowState OS Life OS dashboard, so you can get a glimpse of what you're looking at here. But when you first get in here, you're gonna want to dip into Vision, and under Vision, you can see I got my cover's inspiration here. But under Vision, and there'll be instructions here, so you can just click this and it'll give you an idea of what we're doing here. So if you feel lost, if you feel like you're building someone else's vision and you have little control over your day and you need a plan, this is what you'll start with right here, because that is one of the biggest things that blocks you from being in the flow state, is honestly not even knowing where you are in your own timeline, or feeling lost, or feeling just like, the hero's journey, but not fulfilling the cycle. So this is just a little note on that. But coming into the vision, one of the most powerful ways you can actually craft your vision, is a technique. You see people like Dan Koe talk about it. He does a really good job. But being able to craft your vision with your anti-vision in mind. So this is some real shadow work here. And so if you're not doing your shadow work, and you're, you've lived some life and you feel like you want to recalibrate, now is the time really to do that shadow work and reach in. And when you're doing shadow work, you're working with your inner shadow. So these are the parts of yourself that maybe you haven't been in touch with in a while. And in doing that with your anti-vision specifically, I made some little things so you can follow along and do the exercises and stay kind of in a structured routine as you start to work through that, to map out your year, map out the trajectory of where you want to go. So it's broken down right here. You can see, um, step 1 and 2 is the vision and the anti-vision. We'll start with the anti-vision, then we'll go to the vision. Step 3, we're going to the goals overview, and step 4, I just wrote it out for you. So you can even have a vision board down here. So if you want to, attach your own pictures, you can do that. That'll definitely be very helpful too. Um, but at the top, let's go to the anti-vision. One of the first things that we'll do, when working with the anti-vision, is write down your anti-vision, of everything that you don't want in life, and then use that as a starting point, to be able to write a detailed vision of your ideal future, specifying your desired lifestyle, your body, where your mind is at, your location, and break down this vision into a hierarchy of goals. So you can see we got the goals down here. You have your long-term goals, medium goals, and your short-term goals. Um, so to create this roadmap, and this is that roadmap for the daily action, which is what you'll see, in the main dashboard here. So all the vision and everything that we're doing there, this is going to influence this, and everything in the dashboard is tied in. So if you go to your vision here, you can start with your anti-vision. And so I'm not going to go through and read all this, but you can get a glimpse for what's here. The steps to create your anti-vision, you're going to want to start with reflecting the things that you hate, the things that trigger you, the things that, really, when you're facing your fears, these are the first things that come up, these voices in your head. We want to address that. We want to really flesh that out so that way you have that fire, you have that fuel. So you wake up every day and you're like, man, okay, I do not want that. So reflect on that, observe and learn from others. It's very important, just to be able to stand on the shoulders of giants. Like that way you're not repeating the same mistakes that others already done pay the price for. Um, so there's that. Using the discomfort as fuel, we talked about that, and then transmuting that into a positive vision. So this is the reframe here, which is so powerful. Um, so yeah, play around with that. Definitely tips for success. Be specific. Understand it is an evolving process. So whether you could have it all right now, it's okay if it changes later. Have some grace with yourself, because this is all part of the ethos of being in a flow state, is understanding that you're fluid. You're fluid. And one of my mentors, he said something about how it's in the Keymakers episode. I'll link the episode. So there's a podcast. I'm on this podcast, and it's called God, Love, Money, and it's three things that people will put before themselves. But really unpacking that, and why that is, and where that comes from, and how to dismantle some of these programs and things that lead us to a place where we're constantly putting powers before our own power. But I'm not going to get into that too much. That ties into the vision as well. So I'll link the podcast so you can dip into that for your own inspiration as you put these things together. But what was I going to say? Um, let's dip into. I want to show you something. So underneath Anti-vision, you have your vision. So I try to keep it short and sweet, just because I know we all short on time. But really, being able to do that, this is what gets you on the road to becoming an adept. You're not gonna become an adept in your lane, in your field, unless you can pass that threshold, where you meet the guardian at the threshold, is what they call it. This is like, you have to understand the biggest enemy is you holding yourself back. But now, in thinking about what we're manifesting and bringing forward into the future, how do we do that? So, a few steps, a few key things. You can make this as complex if you want, as you want, or keep it simple. But you want to brainstorm the ideal, get specific, and write your statement. And like I was saying, my mentor said in the episode is, sometimes people will see you and they'll see you doing something. Oh, oh, you're the Notion guy, or oh, you're the AI guy, or oh, you're this and you're that. And it's like, you're on that now. And they just can't believe it, and you got to tell them, like, what, look, I'm fluid. I'm fluid. I move between these different states, and I'm unfazed in the same way that some others might be phased. I observe, I don't absorb, and so that is the ethos here of flow state, is being able to be fluid in between the different states that we need to be in order to retool and work with our lives at the highest level. So this is the vision, the anti-vision. We went over that goal setting. You got your goals here. You already know I like the vintage anime. It just is what it is. Um, I would probably change these goals. These are not as specific as they would really need to be as powerful as they need to be. But just to give an idea, I got some goals here, and you can put your pictures and things. Whatever inspires you, go ahead. I say do that. But if you want to set your goals, go into this other. So you can see I got different tabs. But if you go to the right, and the right and the right and the right, you'll see different tabs with different views that help you out as you're going through these processes of thinking and sorting out your workspace and all of that good stuff. So in this right here, you'll be able to you can see the unit of what you're actually measuring your goals in. So let's say, storyboard, You know, I need like 100 pages to get to the storyboard, right? So 100 pages, that's my goal. Right now I'm at let's say I'm at page 87, what, point 5? No, we'll just do 87. I'm at page 87. So you can say I'm at 87%, you know, super straightforward. This you might measure DJing or getting a car, you know, this could be dollars right here. So customize it to your liking. And then if you want to do that from this view, you can also do that setting the current setting a target from this view. And then what you unlock here is, if you go like this, you can just do boom, boom, like that, and then it's a little bit cleaner. You know, next time you come back, you just got to see like a little bar right here, and there you go. So what are we gonna do? Step 4. Step 4. So once you get through the first 3 steps here, you're gonna get to step 4. It's gonna be really about taking action and staying consistent. This is where you really activate the power of what's in the dashboard itself, which is a lot of what you see on the first page with the tasks and the projects. These things are all going to tie into the goals and the vision that we're setting here in anti-vision. So what that look like broken down, we're looking at dedicating daily time. We're looking at using focus levers, and this is a little bit on how to do that. That way you're planning around your insights and results, and not, you know, getting caught in a lot of the busy work and things and cluttering up your workspace. But this is for learning and building and using your vision as a filter. So this is really all this, you know, what you're seeing here, what you're seeing there. This is all just a filter for you to be able to bring through your highest good throughout the year. So we'll go back, and you can get a glimpse of just the overview. So once we plot the vision, you know, we can go into the daily planner. We can go to the weekly planner if we want to, you know, do that. Go ahead, you know, go like that. So you can see there's a lot of different, if you want to go top level from the months, you can see, you can also plan the birthdays and things like that. Go to the months, and you can go into each month here, and if you want, you can do some additional planning. But you know, we're not gonna go that crazy right now. We're just gonna leave that how it is. But I wanted y'all to be able to see that, and we'll cover more in the next videos for sure. There's a lot to cover, you can see. But if you want to get your hands on this, this is the FlowState OS Lite dashboard. Right now, the full is not out, but the Lite is heavyweight for sure. So you can customize this to your liking, the pictures, different things like that. Make it yours. Make it yours. Make it something that you want to come back to. That is a calming space for you to organize your mind and really, you know, be able to use everything that's coming out now. This is like, you know, Notion. It's funny like that. Like you could throw almost anything in Notion, and Notion just pick it up and just, you know, integrate it in. So it's like you really are getting like a master command center here. This is something that's definitely been thought through. This is not something you could just you just throw together with like a couple prompts and, you know, whatnot. So this is, let's see. I think we covered a lot. I think we did a good job here. If you have any questions, if there's anything that you're curious about, you want to see, or you need help, one-on-one specifically, working on retooling your workflow, your systems, you are trying to get something built, get something custom like this built, or need some consulting or some coaching along the way, feel free to get at me or somebody from my team and my company will be able to help you just work through whatever that you are struggling with. The website will be in the description and all that. And you know, I'm not gonna sit here and pitch you, but you can see what we're doing, and it's only getting better and better every day. Trying to make that impact. So I'm gonna let it go. Y'all have a good night. It's getting late. Man, and I gotta say, real quick before we close out here. It's been some people, it's been some really, really cool characters that I've been coming across ever since starting to do these. And I gotta say, it's so much love and it's really inspiring. And there's, I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm just gonna say that there's a lot of icky people online right now. It's a lot of hate. It's a lot of division. But we also we come here and we put out the energy that we want to attract. And I know a few years ago I was definitely feeling a lot in my heart and expressing a lot of things and bumping heads with people. And there's still a lot that I want to say, and I saved that for the other channels. So if you want to go and follow the other channels where you want to go deeper into some of these things outside of Notion, outside of all that, we can do that. But I do want to make sure that I'm using my influence and everything for a positive light, and to be able to help people through some of these problems. Like these I always call them like the matrix problems. Like these are like the matrix problems. If we want to start talking about getting out of the matrix, we want to talk about the 4D, the 5D, and everything beyond that. We can do that, but a lot of times, we got to start with what's in front of us and being able to eliminate some of those things, so that way we can start to get in touch with some of our higher faculties of self and our bigger journey and what we're actually supposed to be learning and doing here. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. We did. It was supposed to be a short video. I always say that. I always say that, and we end up going longer. But it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Trust the process. All right, we out. Sending love. You got a free day. You got some free time. You want to look and you want to see something that is gonna inspire you right off the bat. So that's what this is.